Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from January 1st, New Year's Day, from Twitchy.com, and it's titled Actual Terrorism. Anti-Israel protesters launch balloons trying to shut down JFK while endangering lives. Excuse me, not cutting that out. So we're actually going to see here real terrorism, or it says here actual terrorism, by people and, on the pro-Hamas side who claim to be all about peace and everything, which any of the protests out there that we've seen in the last few months have proven that to be a total lie. So an appropriate picture here is the Hans, are we the baddies guy from a dude wearing a particular uniform during a certain World War sequel back in the 40s. So it says, not content with interfering with Black Friday shoppers or simply shutting down roads and making people miss their flights, the anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian protesters have decided to up the ante and engage in actual acts of terrorism at JFK Airport today. Watch. And it says from this embedded tweet, and I highly recommend, I don't know how to pronounce it, was it Visegrad? Follow their account. They're pretty on top of world events. So it says anti-Israel protesters launch a large balloon in front of JFK Airport trying to shut down the airport. They launched the balloon as planes were landing and taking off, and they were clearly willing to gamble with the lives of hundreds of people. And I'm going to play this right now. You can see the balloon right here. So good job, folks. You're willing to kill people. All right. So it says, how is this not terrorism? My first thought about this was this has to be defined as terrorism somewhere. So unless people start getting arrested, this crap's going to continue and people are going to die. So you might want to do something about that, law enforcement of any kind. Isn't this like an FBI thing at this point? It says, this writer, is in the writer of the article, will be getting on a plane in less than 24 hours' time. She will have to remove her shoes, get frisked by TSA, and can't bring a container with more than 3.4 ounces of fluid in it on the flight. Why? For safety. Yeah, that's all of that is BS. It's like the shoe thing was like that one dude one time tried to light a bomb in his shoes. Now they're like, everybody's got to do it. So it's like one guy did something bad, y'all get punished. It's like Private Pile from Full Metal Jacket, doing the bad thing, and his whole unit gets punished for it. We're all the unit, and yeah. It says, but these mobs can shut down interstate commerce and threaten flights and face zero consequences. Why did we pass the Patriot Act again? Why did we establish the TSA and DHS? Please explain this to us. And this person here says everyone there should be tracked down, jailed, convicted, and imprisoned, just like J6. I see no problem there. Says they should, but they won't be. Of course not. Says now ask yourself, why? I realize this has been going on since Clinton was in the White House. It's only gotten worse in the last couple of years. Someone else here says that's a terror attack. It's attempted mass murder, J6 style cell. And the author commented, yes, it is. And then this person says, isn't that a federal offense? Which was my first thought when I saw this article and the balloon flying by. So, I agree with that. Then the author says it would certainly seem so. It says, Title 18 USC 37, if you are convicted of using any device, substance, or weapon to commit an act of violence at an international airport, you can face 20 years in prison. And how does this not fall under the purview of federal law? Yeah, I think that's pretty much cut and dry there. And then says, either way, we're pretty sure that endangering lives violates laws, federal and state, and should be treated accordingly. And Joel Petlin here says, when pro-Hamas protesters blocked roads leading to the airport, they were just an annoying nuisance to travelers. When they set up balloons in order to disrupt airplanes on taking off and landing, they just crossed the line into committing federal crimes, arrest, convict, and imprison. And the author reiterates they should be arrested, tried, and convicted. Says, but they won't be, but they should. And then this person there says that's 100% something that gets you time in federal pen. They can have fun protesting inside for the next 20 years. Yes, please, let's do that. It says back in April, a Minnesota man was sentenced to 2 years in prison for aiming a laser pointer at a Delta flight at the Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport in 2021. And yeah, I mean, this is, I would think, just as bad. Additionally, under state law, it's illegal to commit any act that is dangerous to human life, and this certainly qualifies as that. Yes, it does. And this person says domestic terrorism. Yes, it is. And that's what they said. Someone else said this is terrorism. This is the consensus. Someone else says, I am of the view that trying to murder people by sending a balloon into the engine of the jet they're flying isn't something that flying in is something that should result in arrest and prosecution. Yes, that's the correct view. Says they're not trying to raise awareness or win hearts and minds. They're terrorizing and establishing dominance. Yep, this is exactly. That's why they caused issues on Christmas and in major cities. And then Israel Levant, who is the head honcho of Rebel News in Canada, worth a follow as well. It says actual terror attack in New York. It failed, but it's still a criminal act. Yes, it is. This is where's the DOJ? They're got their hands up their ass. It says too busy going after parents and lying about it. Probably. It says this is organized crime on this embedded tweet. It says go after the organizers and funders. Yeah, there's probably a lot of probably a RICO charge or something there. I would guess. I'm not a lawyer, but that seems to be how RICO works. It says agreed, hit them where it hurts. And Viral News NYC says this goes against FAA regulations and is putting airplanes at risk of crashing. If any of this material gets stuck in the engine of the plane, hundreds would die. Yep. Says, and they would argue that those deaths are justified as part of the resistance. Well, hopefully, if that actually happens, I'm not saying hopefully it happens, hopefully it does not happen, but if that happens and these people, uh, are all arrested and they get put behind bars, maybe we'll see how that resistance works for you. This should scare you. Yes, it should. Said it is not terrorism when they do it. Go follow Comfortably Smug. Excellent account there to follow. It says it's always D as in Democrat, different when they do it. It says these people are becoming a menace. It says menace is putting it mildly. And then Josh Hammer, another excellent follow, said so evil people who support foreign terrorists are willing to employ domestic terrorist tactics and directly jeopardize their lives of their fellow Americans. Sounds about right. That's nailed it. That's precisely what this is, and the Biden administration is silent about it. This person says these are domestic terrorists. DHS Gov, do your job. They won't because, again, they're too busy fingering their buttholes to do anything about stopping people that they ideologically agree with. Because the left loves to scream about privilege and two-tier justice, but they embody both of those very things. Being able to commit federal crimes and get away with it is both massive privilege and a two-tier justice system. Especially when you see what's happened to some of the people arrested over January 6th. It says, wait till they start blowing themselves up. That's going to be fun. Yo, Jesus, God, no. But I can see that being something of an end game here. Just don't give them any ideas. But sadly, we would not be surprised if it went there. So if you want to know who rules over you, look at the people who repeatedly get away with domestic terrorism. Yep. Says this 1,000 times this. Don't lecture us about resistance or Islamophobia when you do this and get away with it. Yep. 100% correct. And is that the case with all these people that do stuff like this? Is that they'll still lecture you that they're oppressed, but it's like they get away with literally everything? So yeah, what do you guys think about this? Do you think this is actual terrorism, as it says right here? What do you think should be done to these folks if they actually get picked up on charges or anything like that? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.